All right, I am Caleb with Garvin Sewer Service at 1472 North Street. We've had a history of coming out here yearly. However, sometimes it seems the longer we go, it seems to become more frequent. We're having issues with cleaning it from both the crawl space because it's a tight fit. Down here has quite a few turns in line. Or pulling a toilet, which has a cast iron sweep on a T. Very hard to fish. Both instances, I'm having to downgrade my blade size, and it's not getting a good effective cleaning. There's also some other stuff going on that we did not know until today, and we will talk about that. I am currently in the crawl space because cameraing from the pool toilet is a no-go because of all the turns. There's more turns on the pool toilet than there are crawl space. So we were able to get the camera out. Currently it says I'm 125 feet or so. The distance indicator is on the lower left-hand side of your screen. That is how far my camera head has moved out from the clean out where I'm setting. So we're about 125 feet. I'd really go ahead and say about 126, 127 just to be safe. So some of our runs that we're doing is not long enough from either the pool toilet, definitely the pool toilet, or the crawl space, because from the toilet it's probably about 130 feet to the city. Now, we're going to start our talk by talking about how we have a pretty significant separation and cracking right here. My camera is not able to catch a ride on this water flow that I have going right now, but you can clearly see I am underwater, but we're clean enough to see that we have some cracking, we have some funny stuff going on right here, and then the city is quite literally just a few inches past. I cut out some roots with a lot of difficulty and was able to get them hung up here, and with the camera and water flow was able to watch the roots drop into the city, take on out. But I cannot get my camera head to go through due to the bottom side. You can see we have some separation, some cracking. That's pretty significant, unfortunately. I did locate this on the other side of the street at 6 foot deep, and I did mark that with paint. I will have a video attached to the job of a video of me explaining this from the top side. So we are coming back. Go ahead and kill the water, Nate. I'm going to pause the video, let the water dissipate, and that way we can, because the standing water, you couldn't see the crack. So let the water dissipate, and I'll resume the video. Alright, it will take a while for the water to dissipate, but I will go ahead and explain the process that I did today. So we came in, I was out here a few years back, and it was Nick was out here, and then he had a recall about a week later. I came out, he tried the pool toilet with only a half 4-inch blade because of the struggles. I came to the crawl space, struggled really hard, flipped my cable, broke it. I was here for a long time. So I downgraded my blade size, snaked it. I was able to buy them about 3 months before they backed up again. So they backed up again, and DJ came out here and was more successful from the pool toilet. He also records a lot of struggles too. So we're not doing crawl space or crawl space or pool toilet. We're not being able to do that. But today I ran from the pool toilet. I was able to get 3-inch blades, though I had to push the blades in. I was able to get the blades out. I went back and forth 3 times over a 2-hour period. Pulled back a little bit of roots, put the toilet back on. Then the discussion from the homeowner developed into maybe we should get a camera locate, because I started reiterating, talking about all the problems without having a proper clean out. All our other technicians in the past have talked about that. So started really trying to explain to her that the crawl space is kind of dangerous. The toilet, we're not supposed to be pulling on a crawl space, and it is also a little dangerous but not effective either. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling back now. The water has dissipated for the most part. This is a belly caused by the crack, and then we located this just a few feet away. I think if we fixed the crack, we'd fix the belly portion, but we might have to come upstream a little bit more. So there is the tail end of the portion. We have a severe crack and separation, and I am going to mark that, and there are pictures where it's located. Back to what happened was we put the toilet back on, camera locate. We had the camera from the crawl space anyways, because the camera would not make it through the toilet stub. That was already reset. When we cambered the line, we saw a big root ball at 30 feet. That is the section that I was getting hung up at both last time and this time, and we had to come down here with a 1/2-inch cable and snake it. and it was very difficult. Almost broke my cable multiple times. Takes a very experienced tech to know what he's doing. Otherwise, you would have probably ruined your cable. So that was, and it took me about, I got here at 1:30. It is now going on 5:30, and it's taken that long for us to get all this resolved. So thank you for listening to my explanation. We will have periodic root intrusion throughout this line. Other than the 30-foot mark, it seemed like every other section I was able to get relatively well. Right around here, we're about to see it. On the bottom here, we do have what looks to be a hairline crack in this fitting. And then you can tell on the left side here that we do have a hairline crack with some roots involved here. I am marking this as minor, but I've already located that as 4 feet deep. This spot right here, and then this spot right here at 4 feet deep in the driveway. It is a straight shot up the driveway. I do also want to mention that I did not notice this before. I'm not sure if that's discarded roots or that's the hairline crack or if that's a mark from my blades, but it might be worth it just to take that spot repair maybe a few feet farther. Again, 4 feet deep in the driveway. This is about half, this is our second out of 3 problems. So that is marked for our knowledge if it needs to get replaced. I did tell her that we probably could just maintain it if this was the only spot, but with everything else going on, it might be best. If lining or pipe bursting, I think pipe bursting may be applicable here. It might be helpful just to know that that's there. Otherwise, perfect world, that would get repaired. I did have a trainee with me today, so even with all the troubles we had, 4 hours for 2 people, it was really difficult. This is a very hard line to maintain no matter what. In the past and currently, I highly, highly, highly recommend an outside clean out. That will help with how long our runs are going to be and what kind of blades we can use and how effective our drain cleaning can be. Assuming, we don't replace the entire line, you would still want to maintain it in the future. Roots were cut out fairly good there. We do have a series of roots. It seemed like I was able to cut these out relatively easy, even from the pulled toilet. Again, the 30-foot section was the hardest spot. There might be a little bit of separation cracking there happening with the root intrusion coming through there. I do not have this located. It is probably underneath one of the vehicles that I cannot move in the driveway. We're about to have a turn here in a bit. I do have the turn marked just for our location services, or location for any type of future services. So we do have a turn here. So yeah, I believe this is going to be close to where the green dot is that I was just using for a marker, just to kind of keep where I was going. Somewhere around my truck or the other car, there might be a spot that we need to talk about, and it's going to be that left spot right here. Doesn't look like it's a big deal, but there is a little bit of chipping there going on, and that's due to the root growth. That was 36 feet, and our turn is at 30 feet. So I'll mark it 6 feet closer. It's probably going to be under the vehicle, the car, and if I had to guess, it's somewhere around 3 feet deep. I did not talk about that crack with our homeowner. I did not see it the first few times we cameraed, so that's something we'll also mention as well. So I talked to her about the other problems, not that one. So the 3 that I mentioned, I guess there's now technically 4 spots that need to be addressed. All right, so right here is this is the main culprit for today's backup. The big root ball that was very difficult to get out. Took me hours of struggling and colorful language. and being in crawl spaces, pulling toilets to get this big old crack. I mean, this could be something that, you know, honestly could collapse tomorrow. It might last a while, but we have to assume it's going to be a problem sooner rather than later. And it's got to be cracked for a while, because every time we're getting to the spot, we can't get it past it with bigger blades. And it's because when our blades are rotating, they're getting caught in the cracks, and it wants to break and snap and flip our cable and all that fun stuff. So this is 2 feet 10 inches deep, right at the gate where the flagstones are. And again, there will be a video from up top, reference that on the account. So those are our 4 problems. We're about to be in ABS and cast. I believe there was a new section of home outside the foundation that was built that might explain the ABS portion. And then we'll have some cast here in a second, and we're about to pop out into the crawl space where I am currently setting. If there's any other questions, refer to the invoice summary, or you can refer to the video and the pictures that I'll have listed. Otherwise, my name is Caleb. Give me a call. Thank you very much for your time. And this crawl space is very, very, very difficult to maneuver with any bigger. You can't really see, but it's a tight fit down here. OSR has been recommended for years. We definitely want to reiterate that.